So why do we need to stop running Facebook ads as of today and start focusing on something that's going to get us in front of targeted traffic, evergreen, for years to come? So why is this important? Well, 90% of e-commerce startups will actually fail within the first 120 days, according to sources like Forbes, HuffPost, and the two main reasons for failure are actually poor online marketing performance coupled with an overall lack of search engine visibility. So if you've never heard of me before, my name's Paul Murphy, and we've discovered something that allows you to get in front of targeted customers for good. And I'll show you some examples of what we've been able to do with this, and I'll show you how you can do it. Now, this will be on the podcast, and this will also be on YouTube, so you can choose which one you want to go for. But basically, you can see here, like One Funnel Away, Kartra, Webinar Jam, Ever Webinar, Groove Pages. You might have heard of some of these products. Well, these are products that we've been able to crush it with online and not spend a single penny and on traffic and get in the leaderboards. With Groove, we got in the top 5. We generated $317,000 in revenue in the first year since it launched, and we've consistently made like sales year on year with that as well. Also with these ones, we've got Kartra, Webinar Jam, Ever Webinar, which are all actually the same company. We were always appearing in the leaderboards with completely free traffic, which is kind of crazy. And I've also managed to win some prestigious awards and generate millions of dollars for my own products and services. And also, this is one for ClickFunnels 2.0. When that launched, we got in the leaderboard amongst all like kind of some of the biggest players in the industry. And it's another leaderboard here. And also Secrets of Success, that was a private project with Russell Brunson. And I actually got to mastermind with him literally a couple of months ago. And I came 7th on the leaderboard. And you can see that was my actual prize, was to actually go and hang out with Russell in Virginia, which I did. Also managed to blow up this podcast. So the podcast got in top 50 in 21 countries, top 20 in 15 countries, top 10 in 9 countries. And it's only like literally 3 years old as we speak. And that got those rankings were actually business marketing on Apple, which is kind of incredible. So yeah, what we actually did was we basically realized early on that by not having search engine visibility, we were missing out. But a lot of people weren't focusing on search engines. So we thought, well, what is actually going to get us on the search engine with something that people actually like to consume? And we realized that videos was the answer. And then, so what I did was I actually contacted my ad manager and said, look, I can see these videos appearing on the front page of Google. How do I take advantage of this? And he said, you just need to give Google what it wants. It's Google recognizes that people prefer video, and everything's going to be served up by video in the next few years. And that was in 2017. So you can basically, we started to take advantage of the front page of Google as more and more videos started appearing. Another thing that's interesting as well, we downloaded this plugin from vidIQ, and it basically showed us who had authority over certain products. And in the middle of product launches, we were getting top authority, like literally in the top 3 of the people on the planet that were promoting this product on those services. And this is kind of weird because these were like very, very highly targeted keywords during the launch, but we were right up there, right? You can see ClickFunnels 2.0 review. That's a keyword. We were number 2 on the planet during the ClickFunnels launch. I was number 3 for ClickFunnels 2.0 affiliate. ClickFunnels 2.0 free trial, I was number 3. ClickFunnels 2.0 bonuses, I was number 1. And for the term ClickFunnels, which in itself doesn't have an awful lot of buying intent, because sometimes people Google that when they're just trying to log in. But even still, it's very, very competitive keyword to rank for. One of my students, Scott, actually only created 2 videos, and it was right in the middle of the launch, and he was right at the top there, and he was above Russell Brunson for that authority for that keyword, which meant that his video was up there getting him sales, which is kind of crazy. And over the years, we've helped thousands of students get incredible results with the system I'm going to reveal today. So what I want to talk about is a fundamental pattern shift that we made that allowed us to get in front of targeted buyers, get that search engine visibility that we spoke about. But not only that, we could reduce all our marketing costs to 0. So we don't have to kind of go into a project with a marketing budget, which is what most people do, right? And you've probably done the same. and then you blow that budget on Facebook ads or something like that, and then you kind of realize that what you generally do is you'll tell yourself the story that it hasn't worked. But what actually hasn't worked is your marketing was kind of wrong. You were doing the wrong thing. Facebook ads in 2009 were fantastic, but they soon, up to about 2015 onwards, they've been really, really hard to succeed at. So I'll give you like a story of how I kind of went about this. So a few years ago, I was building a funnel. So I read the Dot-Com Secrets book from Russell Brunson, and I basically went to build a funnel with upsells, downsells, and all these things, right? And it took me about a month to build this funnel. And my next step was the obvious step, which is what everybody does pretty much, and that's turn on Facebook ads. And the problem is that I had a limited budget. I think I had $10,000 to make this thing work. Now, the funny thing is that when you build like a big funnel, if you don't have traffic flowing through that funnel, all of the kind of elements in that funnel are kind of irrelevant. The only thing you really need to focus on when you start running ads is the first part of that funnel, right? So that was my first mistake, right? Was building out this incredible funnel. But the funny thing is that when you want to spend money on Facebook ads, the cheaper the ads are at the earliest steps of the funnel. So if you want to optimize your Facebook pixel for page views, that's where you get the cheapest thing. But obviously, that's going to send a bunch of traffic, right? It's just going to send everyone to page views. If you're then optimizing for leads, it's going to try and work out based on that traffic, based on the people that opt in, who that is. So what happens is it then becomes more expensive, and then it becomes more expensive, then it becomes more expensive. And as you get to purchase, which is where you end up like optimizing your pixel for, you're now spending a fortune on that, but then you're going to be getting more purchases. And because of that, your pixel has to go through all those stages, and you have to get so many data points as it goes through that by the time you get to the purchase, usually you've burnt your budget out. And this is why 90% of businesses are failing, because you're going through this same process every single time. And what you'll do is the story that a lot of people will tell themselves is that this product didn't work, right? It's not a good fit. And I can tell you now, it's probably just that you had it in the wrong place. You weren't actually promoting it in front of people that actually needed your product and service. Facebook hadn't got to that point where it could actually find those people for you. So that is the biggest problem with Facebook ads. This is why you do not want to start with Facebook. Now, I'm going to say straight away, you're probably thinking, but I know loads of people that are crushing it on Facebook and they're doing really well. Now, I'm not saying you should never run Facebook ads. I'm saying you should do it strategically. What we do is we will go and take a fraction of the profits, right? And then what we'll do is we've now optimized, we'll put our pixel on our product, right? And we'll use the free traffic I'm going to show you. We'll take a fraction of the profit. So we'll take 5 or 10% of just 1 month's of profits. We'll go over to Facebook. Facebook's now got all the data points. It's optimized the pixel. It's got everything it needs. And then we'll throw all the traffic at ads at it. Now, we don't need to do all the optimizations because we've already done it. And then one or two things will happen. It'll either work or it won't, right? And that's the thing. And you think if you've spent all that money on Facebook ads just to get to that point, that's a very, very costly lesson. Well, you don't need to spend a single penny with what I'm going to show you, right? So we'd also learned some other hard truths. Ad prices on Facebook, if you go and look at the stats, they're pretty much going up 100% every single year. So whatever price you're doing, you're having to kind of compete and put them up and all this kind of stuff. People don't like Facebook ads. They still don't like Facebook ads. So this is the thing. You're advertising in a place that people are not there to buy in the first place. And as time's gone on, people get a bit more used to them, but they still don't like them, right? What I'm going to show you, they're looking for you. They're looking for your ad. They're actually putting searches in the two biggest places in the world and coming to you, right? So that's the difference. Also, there's too much competition now, red ocean. And if there isn't a red ocean, then it won't work, right? Because everyone's going to Facebook. So everything that's on there, the competition's there, right? Tracking's being blocked by Apple. So when you go and Google things and stuff like that, or when you go and use stuff on a Mac, Apple is saying not sending that data over to Facebook. So Facebook can't optimize as well as it used to. Ad accounts getting banned. So this is the thing, right? You can be running your ad account and for absolutely no reason, you wake up one, this happened to us multiple times. Facebook's just said no, right? And there's two levels of no. There's one level of no, yes, but then you can argue it and get it back. But there's another level of no where they just say flat out no. And that's happened to me and I've never been able to get that specific account back. And I opened another account, but I wasn't able to ever get that account back, no matter what I tried. And there had people that said, "Oh, we know people at Facebook." I sent it to them, didn't get it back, right? So, and the thing is that if they decide they don't want your business, you need to diversify, right? Because if you're not basically thinking outside the box, then you're going to be stuffed. So that's the other one. Obviously, this is the biggest stressor in like anybody who runs Facebook ads will tell you, ads not getting approved. Like you usually have to go and wait 24 hours when an ad hasn't been approved, and this is real worry because if it's like you're nagging them to approve the ad. If you keep doing that, that's when they ban your account, right? But you have to do that, especially if like they've picked up on something that shouldn't have banned it and it didn't make sense. And then you've got that worry. And the amount of people that run Facebook, I say this is the biggest like headache of all of them, right? So this is another problem. And then you've got over 500,000 businesses last year. And actually, if you take that 90% of businesses failing in the first 120 days to a year, you'll find that it's close to 1% of businesses that will succeed. And because of that, obviously, that's a real struggle for most people. And this is why a lot of people are struggling online now, right? There's, times have changed. Things are tough. So you want to set the game up to win, and you want to make sure that you're basically putting your business out there. Now, what can you do, right? So I'll give you an example here. So Richard Branson, back in 1986, he had one of the biggest independent record labels on the planet, which he'd started from this mail order company, and it grew to this super heights. Now, what happened is that he was over on British Virgin Islands looking at Necker Island, pretending he was going to buy it. I don't think he was going to buy it. Anyway, he got stuck at an airport and he had to charter a plane home for him and his wife, Joan. And he had all these seats free. And there was an airport full of passengers that needed to get home. So he just wrote on a bit of card, $100 flight. I think he called it Virgin Airways, right? And then he filled up the plane, and that gave him the idea to start this airline. And the only problem was his record company was worth about 30 million back in the day. And a Boeing 747 passenger airline was going to cost him almost around the same. So for him to start this company and risk everything, he was going to have to bet the farm. So when he went back to the record company, they were all like up in arms, like everyone was leaving, like literally walking out every single day. Like to say that they were excited was an understatement. Like stick to what you know. You've got no chance basically. And you can kind of see why. Like if you've been in the record business, you want to start an airline. It doesn't really make sense. We obviously all know what happened now, but that's the thing, right? Anyway, so he said, look, give me a chance to protect the downside. Now, if I can protect the downside, what that means is that we'll start the airline. It'll be a separate entity. We don't bet the farm. And nobody at the record company's job is at risk, even slightly. And they're like, how on earth are you going to do that? Like, because you've obviously got an asset that's worth 30 million. How are you going to start an airline? It's kind of interesting because I couldn't think of it, but I actually got this from a book that I read in 2009 when I was on a skiing holiday. So what he actually did was really clever, and it'd never been done before. He got a directory of everybody who worked at Boeing, and he phoned everyone up that was literally in this directory, and he made it his 9-to-5 job until he just got one person to agree to hire him a plane for the first 12 months, right? So what he did was he basically chartered a plane for 12 months. There was costs involved, staff and things like that. But basically, he didn't have the cost of the airline. So he could basically give it a go. And at the end of the year, hand the plane back if it didn't work. And then at the end of the year, they were so happy they gave him another plane. And obviously, it just grew from there. Now, Richard talks, if you go and listen to any podcast or anything that he does, he will tell you this is the biggest lesson he ever learned in business. So if you can basically protect the downside when you start a business, so you're not putting all your chips on the table, you're not putting $10,000 budget on Facebook ads, you're not doing all, then you're going to succeed. Because at the end of the day, if you can figure out a way to protect the downside, then it doesn't really matter. If it doesn't work, if you've done everything you can, but you've still protected everything you've got, then you just move on to something else. Now, because the biggest expense in marketing the biggest expense in any business is always marketing. That's how we protect the downside, because we now put our products in front of basically red hot buyers that are looking for us every single day for free. Whatever happened to them anyway. And this is how we do it. So we basically will turn our product into a video. Okay. Now, this is whether we're putting ourselves on camera or not. You can do AI videos, all sorts of funky things, right? But basically, we will create a video, right? Instead of a website, we're creating a video because websites are dead. No one looks at websites, but the search engines will rank the videos. So Google and YouTube rank the videos. We get them at the top. You sometimes get this 4-pack, sometimes you get a carousel at the top. And then, and we get the 2 biggest search engines. So we're getting Times Square, we're getting Oxford Street. You know, these are the best real estate. And we don't just rank for the products or services. What we'll do is we'll rank for the reasons why people need them. So the queries that people have. We'll rank for the problems and the pain points people have that's solved by our product, right? We'll even rank for our competitors' product, right? Because at the end of the day, they're looking for our competitors. So let's say you know, I was going to compete with ClickFunnels and I was going to do Murph funnels, right? No one's going to be searching for Murph funnels. So what I can do is I can say, looking for ClickFunnels, have you tried Murph funnels, right? So now somebody's put in ClickFunnels, but they've seen my video and I can bring them over. So we can do a number of things here. And in fact, you know, the amount of problems and reasons that people have around most products, there's billions of searches and nobody's tapped into them. And this is how you win. There's literally a gold mine. Now, at the moment, we've got 14,000 students using this. Virtually everyone else on the planet right now is ignoring this. So this is great news for you, because if you start taking advantage of this, you're going to clean up, right? So what we also do is we have what I call is an ethical funnel system that does all the work, like all the heavy lifting for us. So what we do is we create these funnels which basically push our videos to the top of Google and keep them there. So we get them evergreen. But not only that, we build a really engaged email list. I'll show you like some of the things we do. We keep videos on page 1 for many years, because our videos, as traffic's coming through, it's keeping them up because people are watching these videos and it keeps them up at the top of Google. Also, you get a highly engaged email list. So these emails will get open because of the way we design them. They sell products and services on autopilot without any ads whatsoever. You get omnipresence with videos showing up together in positions 1, 2, 3, and 4. You get a free, highly valuable email list, and you become the ultimate authority in any niche. And this funnel becomes a retargeting campaign. And what's really exciting about this as well is that we don't do any hard selling. This is just basically serving our customers over a 10-day period. But because of that, and we're offering everything for free up front, and we're offering them all the value around this product, anything that they need, any of the pain points they want to solve, everything we put inside of here, that we do have links to our product, and they just buy. After about 2 or 3 days, they buy. And you get 20 sale points instead of 1, so you get higher conversions, and you get hardly any refunds because people are choosing to buy. We're not forcing anything down their throat. So it's really ethical. People love it. People watch our videos over and over again. It blows our products up, keeps them at the top of Google, and that's how we get in the leaderboards. That's how we blow our businesses up. That's how I've blown my podcast up, and all that funky stuff. So I'll put a link in the show notes or down below. And if you want to get my free, brand new 10-day course on how to build the evergreen traffic funnel, how to put this all together, right? And I'll even give you a link so you can go and download a pre-built version of this as well. So you don't need, we'll do all the heavy lifting for you. Then check the link out and you'll be able to go and do that. So in the next video, I'm going to show you how you can become the ultimate authority for any product, no matter how competitive, just with a few of these videos. So go and watch that now, and I'll show you how that works.